Good evening, students. So today we discuss our first chapter, that is chemical equation and reaction, in more detail and more briefly. Then what are chemical reaction? So a chemical reaction is a process where the reactant get converted into product which may be under an influence of catalyst or spontaneously. So what is reactant? Reactant means the substance that undergoes chemical change, and what is product? The new substance formed in the reaction is known as product. So reactant कहले आम कौन बुझा जो सब्सटेंसटा आमर केमिकल चेंज हम से सब्सटेंस को कहवा रिएक्टेंट जो सब्सटेंस रे आमर गोटे नुआ सब्सटेंस तैयारी हम सेटा आम कहवा प्रोडक्टेंट देन the reactants are written on the left hand side with plus sign between them. Then आम reactant को left hand side रे लिखिबा and the productant are written on the right hand side. आम productant को right hand side रे लिखिबा with a plus sign between them. And very important is the arrowhead should point towards the product. आमे जो आरो हेडटा को सदा बेले प्रोडक्ट आड़ को पॉइंट करवा दरकार बार जो न्यू सब्सटेंस तैयारी हम से पट को पॉइंट करवा दरकार बिकॉज द आरो हेड शो द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द रिएक्शन. How we identify a chemical reaction? So a chemical reaction is identified 4 factor. One is if we see there is change in state. जदि कौन जिनस गोटे स्टेट चेंज है मीन्स गोटे सॉलिड थिला लिक्विड है लिक्विड थिला गैस है बा गैस रु सॉलिड है दैट इज चेंज इन स्टेट. इफ देयर इज चेंज इन कलर जदि कौन सब्सटेंस रो कलर चेंज होची सपोज कॉपर सल्फेट ब्लू थिला आमे जिंक डिजल्व करा द्वारा डी शेप रे हेगला दैट मीन्स देयर इज आल्सो केमिकल रिएक्शन टेक्स प्लेस. इफ देयर इज इवोल्यूशन ऑफ गैस दैट इज सपोज आम मेटालटारे एसिड उपर एसिड आ मेटाल को आम डिजल्व कले हाइड्रोजन गैस बाहर कि आम जी डाइल्यूट नाइट्रिक एसिड आ जिंक रे ऐड करवा आमर लाफिंग गैस बाहर नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड. देन चेंज इन टेम्परेचर यू नो मीन्स इफ यू गिव टेम्परेचर दैट इज एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन. इफ टेम्परेचर आउट exothermic reaction. Suppose solid to liquid conversion of state that is endothermic with give temperature. So simply how we remember that is if we purchase any material we give GST, CGST. One is central GST and state GST. Here this is not that GST. Here GST means C for color, G for gas evolution, S for state, T for temperature. So you remember this that C, GST, that are the 4 factor which will identify a chemical reaction. Now the father of the modern chemistry, the great chemistry Anthony Lavoisier gives the law of conservation of mass. He says that mass neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the mass of the reactant before reaction is equal to the mass of the productant after reaction. Now the most important concept is balancing a chemical reaction. That question you get in the exam. A balancing chemical equation रो ही हमर एग्जाम रे क्वेश्चन आसीबो आ एटा टोटल 5टा जांग चैप्टर पे हमको इंपोर्टेंट फ्यूचर पे भी इंपोर्टेंट. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बैलेंसिंग रिएक्शन कहिले बा बैलेंसिंग ए केमिकल इक्वेशन कहिले हम कोन बुझुचे. बैलेंसिंग ए केमिकल इक्वेशन मीन्स the number of atom in the reactant side should be equal to the number of atom in the productant side. reactant side रे जेतुटा हमर atom रहिबो productant side रे जदि सेतुटा atom रहिला ताले हम कहबा गोटे chemical reaction रे balance हैला. then तापर हम मनर गोटे क्वेश्चन आसी पारे. then one question create in our mind, why we balance a reaction? My dear students, that already I said ki because all the chemical reaction will obey LCM. Here LCM is law of conservation of mass that given by our great chemistry the father of modern chemistry, that is Anthony Lavoisier. So 2 questions we solve. What is balancing of a chemical reaction? Balancing of a chemical reaction means we make same number of atom in the reactant side as well as productant side. Why you do? Because all the chemical equation follows law of conservation of mass. So now I am going to balance this equation, and the fundamental is first we balance metal, and then we balance nitrogen atom, then we balance halogen, that is chlorine, bromine, iodine, that or fluorine, and then we balance oxygen, and finally in the last we balance hydrogen. So now ଆମେ ଏବେ ସେଇ ଫର୍ମୁଲାକୁ ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିକି ଏବେ ଦେଖିବା ଇକ୍ୱେସନ୍ଟାକୁ ସଲ୍ଭ କରିବା. So now you see metal 2 sodium metal, here 2, here 1 sodium metal, so we balance. Now you see, so I multiply here 2 because as per our principle first we balance metal, then after balancing metal we go to nitrogen. Here nitrogen is absent, no nitrogen, then we go to oxygen. So here oxygen is 2 plus 4, that is 6. Here 4 plus 1 5, so here we multiply 2, so now oxygen is balanced. Now finally we go to check hydrogen. So in left side that is 4 hydrogen, right side hydrogen. So now you can check finally metal 2, oxygen 6, hydrogen 4, 1 sulfur, 1 sulfur. Now the number of atom in the reactant side is equal to the number of atom in the productant side. So now we say the reaction or equation is balanced. So now I am going to balance the second equation. So in the first equation you see how sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid react and it will form sodium sulfate and water, and how I balance the metals first. And you know metals is mainly group 1 and group 2, and all of you remember for group 1 linakir of Sephoriat, and for group 2 beta mange car scooter bapraji. So now you see when barium chloride react with sulfuric acid, it form barium sulfate and HCl. So now you see metal, here is barium, so here barium same. Then we go to halogen. Here number of halogen, that is chlorine 2, here 1, so I multiply 2 here, so halogen is balanced. Then we go to oxygen. Here oxygen 4, here also oxygen 4, then here also sulfur same. Then we go to hydrogen. Here 2 hydrogen, here 2 hydrogen, so now equation is balanced. So if we follow this process of first balancing metal, then the order of non-metal is nitrogen, oxygen, then hydrogen in the last, then we can solve any equation within 20 seconds. So now your homework is you can solve question number 6, 7 and 8. If you have any doubt you can ask. Now we can solve. This is one higher order thinking question. When zinc react with dilute nitric acid, it forms your laughing gas. So if you solve by applying this trick, that is first metal, then nitrogen, then oxygen, hydrogen, you can solve within 20 seconds. So I want first of all you solve this and upload in the group, then you will solve question number 6, 7 and 8. Any query you can ask me. Thank you all. Thank you again.